Welcome to Tsubaki of Canada. My name is Boris and I'll be your tour guide through our facility where we manufacture sprockets and other power transmission components for our global customers. We utilize a system of excellence in manufacturing, and that's also our corporate philosophy. So come with me as we take a tour through the shop. Our first stop here is the pull broach, where we use a horizontally mounted hydraulic cylinder to pull some sort of a shape into the board. It could be a spline or a keyway. As you can see, the process takes approximately 6 seconds, and the value added is considerable, ensuring we have a high quality product in the least amount of time possible. This helps us to really control our costs. The drawback, of course, is the tooling costs in this process. As you can see, Tsubaki of Canada has made a significant investment in tooling here. Let's watch this process. Here we are in our alteration cell. We do offer 2-hour turnaround time with some limitations on quantities. But basically, anything that the customer can dream of in terms of board configuration, we simply take stock board inventory and modify it according to the customer's needs. We have all the equipment here in one area, with 3 dedicated employees to this process. And as I said, a 2-hour turnaround time with the only limitation being on quantity. This allows us to be much more flexible to customer needs, and with some of our shipping partners, we can get the product to the customer much quicker than if they had to buy it from the competitor. Of course, TCL's primary competitive advantage is that we can make almost anything that the customer can dream up within a sprocket configuration. And that's what 99% of the facility is set up to do across a 2-shift operation. Here we are in our small turning area where we have 9 NC lathes capable of turning up to 15 inches in diameter. We start with either raw bar or flame cut material and machine in a profile that will later on have the teeth added. As we exit the small turning area, I'd like to draw your attention here to our work order packages. We are ISO 9001-2008 and ISO 14001-2004 certified. There's a lot of information identified in here, but of course the most important and imperative to the Tsubaki brand is the quality system that we utilize. All of the drawings match the inspection sheets, and each operator is responsible for each of his or her own operations and inspecting each and every piece and recording to the sample size. This way we can ensure that only quality product is leaving the station and that we are not in fact pushing any quality issues further downstream. In order to respond to our customers' urgent requirements, we do inventory a large breadth of material. Anything from alloy steels, carbon steels, stainless steels, and aluminum. We can use one of our 5 CNC operated saws to cut up and get that material into production immediately. This allows us the flexibility, of course, to say yes over the phone when required, and to make sure that we do have everything that we need on hand here to get our customers out of a bind. Here we are in our large NC turning department. Over here we have 4 NC lathes with a turning capability of up to 1 meter in diameter. Much like the small turning, we start with raw cylindrical shapes and machine in the profiles required to have the teeth added later. Of course, we do have other capabilities in this area. Anything that requires large turning, we can do here. All while holding a tolerance of up to half a thou. Here are our two large vertical lathes with a 99-inch table and capable of swinging up to 101 inches in diameter. We are able to hold about a 4 thou tolerance across that diameter, allowing us to supply some of the largest sprockets with the tightest tolerances possible in Canada. Of course, with our material supply base located around the corner, we're able to turn this work around very quickly. Once the near net shape has been turned into the raw material, it is time for us to add the teeth in. We have several ways that we can do that. Our first stop here will be the flame cutting process. Here we utilize a specific built machine operating on a cam system that can cut roller chain profiles with a 10 thou tolerance. We use this, of course, for the larger pitch chains. We're able to maintain the required tolerance, get the product out quickly to the customer, all while adding a lot of value without a lot of cost. Hobbing is the process of actually cutting the teeth into the gear or the sprocket. Of course, here we manufacture sprockets, so we utilize sprocket hob cutters. In this group of machines here, we can hob up to a 60-inch diameter, or almost 2 meters, utilizing specialized tooling and equipment. As you can see, the workpiece rotates as the cutter head rotates, and the pressure angle is determined, of course, by the angle of the cutter head and the cutter itself. The number of teeth required is determined by engineering calculations, and the machine is set up to accommodate the set number of teeth. The small hobbing area works similarly to the large hobbing area. However, the workpiece is mounted to the horizontal plane, whereas in the large hobbing it is mounted on the vertical plane. The concept is still the same, where the teeth are cut by a rotating tool on a rotating workpiece. And the ratio between the two is what provides us our tooth profile. So we flame cut the teeth, we've hobbed the teeth, and now we're at the gashing machine. Another purpose-built specific piece of equipment just for cutting teeth. This one we utilize in our multi-strand large pitch sprockets, primarily utilized in oil field and mining industries, but really found in any industrial applications throughout the world. The advantage of this piece of equipment is its speed. Whereas the workpiece on the last machine would rotate as the cutter rotated, in this machine the workpiece stays stationary and the cutter simply moves up and down at a pace of 12 inches per minute, and the piece indexes to the next tooth. Of course, tooth profiles are then determined by our tools, which you can see we have an extensive variety of tooling to accommodate any size and shape that the customer may require. Here we arrive at our vertical machining center. Vertical machining is the process of machining components on 3 axes: X, Y, and Z. Our capabilities here range from 42 inches to 110 inches of X-trap. This allows us the flexibility to cut custom tooth profiles or make custom modifications to standard tooth profiles to accommodate customer needs. As well, we can perform general machining on these machines here and are expanding our business into componentry for various OEMs. TCL is constantly investing in new methods, capabilities, and equipment. And one such machine is right here, our large vertical lathe, capable of swinging up to 2.5 meters. Also with live tooling and a 4th axis. It allows us much more flexibility and reduction of setup time, meaning a reduction in cost and bringing our product closer to the market quicker. The operator has set up the machine with a 12-inch pitch, 8-tooth segmental. He's also going to be able to put in the feature holes in the plate, as well as finish the bore all in one setup. Previously, this would have had to have been done across several machines, requiring several setups and breakdowns, as well as excessive handling. Here we are at the heat treat area. Several of our sprockets are heat treated here, and we utilize 2 primary methods: induction hardening and flame hardening. Induction hardening is creating resistance in the material, heating it up to a certain temperature, and then quenching with a water polymer medium. This heating and quick quenching allows the carbon molecules to get really close together and create hardness in the profile. Tsubaki sprockets are designed to run and interact with Tsubaki chain. Utilizing our proprietary hardness knowledge of our chain, we're able to ensure our sprockets are hardened to appropriate levels so as not to impact premature chain wear and ensure maximum sprocket life. Our flame hardening allows us the flexibility to harden various tooth profiles and set them up quickly and efficiently, as well as helping to maintain ductility in the tip of the tooth. This is important in high shock load operations. Up to this point, we've taken the product from raw material, turned in a rough near net shape, added teeth to it, heat treated it, and now it comes through to the welding and finishing areas. TCL is certified to CWB standard 47.1, which is the welding of cold fusion structures. All of our welders are licensed. We do have mag particle inspection in-house, as well as dye penetrant inspection, and both are certified. Our engineers have the metallurgical and thermal knowledge to ensure that the welds are proper and appropriate for the application. Utilizing purpose-built equipment, we have semi-automatic welding. utilize two main processes, gas metal arc and shielded metal arc welding. Shielded metal arc can deposit 3/8 wire and gas metal arc has a capability of up to 1/8 wire. Here we have two more pull broaches. They're larger ones, with much larger tooling and more power for the larger bores, larger keyways, and larger splines. Another one of our advantages here is our CNC slaughter. This is a machine that utilizes specialized cutters and cuts keyways and splines on the inside or outside of product. It is NC controlled, meaning it can give us excellent precision with polishing cuts on both sides and allows us the flexibility to utilize a smaller cutter to cut a larger slot. Whereas some of the other machines that we have in this area, the cutters have to be specific to the size that we're cutting. We also have 3 key seaters in this area on top of the other 2 pull broaches. Once a keyway is cut into the product, customers do need to retain that to the shaft, and we utilize set screws to do that. It's a standard design. Set screws are drilled and tapped through the hub, one over the keyway and one at 90 or 270 degrees as per customer requirement. A lot of the product that Tsubaki makes is actually going into existing equipment or servicing the MRO industry. Rather than disassembling all their equipment, customers ask us to actually cut sprockets in half. After all that value we added, we take it over here and we split it in half utilizing our CNC-controlled, hydraulically powered saw. TCL offers 2 standards, a split gap and a non-gap split, both of them with their own merits. Customers enjoy the ease and convenience of simply moving the chain to the side, cutting out their old sprocket, and assembling the 2 halves back onto the shaft. Although it may sound like minimal effort, it actually requires a significant amount of engineering to ensure that we still maintain our eccentricity and concentricity of our product so that when it's running at speed, it's running appropriately. Once the product has been manufactured, it comes here into our painting area. Our standard paint is a flat black matte finish which also has rust inhibitive properties as well as oil resistance. We also offer powder coating, any color that the customer can dream of. Coating, of course, is important for the product for identification in some instances, as well as rust inhibition and resistance to some of the harsh environments that these products operate in. Once the job is completed, it comes here to our final inspection area, where 2 highly qualified, well-trained inspectors go through every single element of the drawing and the inspection sheet, as well as ensuring that it meets Tsubaki's highest quality standards prior to being shipped out to the customer. Our inspection methods include, but are not limited to, CMM roamer arm, tabletop CMM, as well as various hand tools such as micrometers, bore mics, and calipers. TCL invests significantly every year just in measuring equipment in order to ensure that our customers' quality expectations are met and in most cases exceeded. I hope you enjoyed the tour of our Canadian manufacturing facility, where quality is at the core of all of our processes here. It's also the fundamental in our corporate philosophy of excellence in manufacturing for our global customers. TCL looks forward to serving your power transmission and industrial needs in the near future. Thank you.